can I do? 'Cause I'm just a sinking ship, and you're just a pair of lips that I've lost in the moment. All I want is for you to come back. Now I'm caught in the middle of life, and I need.
When you eat something, they take the nutrients. Now you eat the food, but they divide the nutrients up for themselves so that they can survive off of your misery, off of your destroying your health. That is exactly what they do in the Western world. I'm not making this. Let me go to the chat real quick. Hey, we're going to rock and roll until he gets here. And if he doesn't get here, we still going to rock and roll. You know how we do things. This is the most powerful platform for truth, bar none, on God's green earth. M. Sparks is in the building. And salute to you, my friend. I call it a coalition of the Neanderthals. Yeah. Salute everyone. Perseverance Chameleon is in the building. All right. M. Sparks says, the downfall of the soulless grindle mutants is priceless. He said he has his popcorns and he's smiling. Oscar 1101 says, do you think Cuba can nuke the U.S. with Iranian missiles? I hope so. No. For Cuba does not have nuclear weapons. Cuba, I don't even think Cuba even wanted nuclear weapons. Ever wanted them. And when the Soviet Union placed nuclear weapons there, it wasn't at the behest of Cuba, even though Cuba was telling them, hey, look, we think America is going crazy. It was because it was an asymmetrical move by the Soviet Union, because the U.S. had started placing, I think they call Pershing missiles, capable of striking Moscow within minutes. They started placing them in Turkey and in Germany. And this was an asymmetrical move to put pressure on the United States to make them pull out. See, when we hear about the Cold War and the Cuban Missile Crisis, we hear about Kennedy ordered the blockade of Cuba and Khrushchev had to back down. We don't hear about the backdoor negotiations that allowed the United States to save face. Yes, it was publicly announced that the Soviet Union would pull its missiles, its nuclear weapons out of Cuba. But what was quietly done was it forced also the United States to pull those missiles out of Turkey and out of Germany. All right. Now, again, since you brought up Cuba, let's think about the hypocrisy of America. Again, see, no matter where you look, you can see the arrogance of empire, the hubris of the Western world, the hypocrisy of the West. America gobbled up the former Soviet states, then started rearranging their governments and their form of governance at the behest of imperial thinkers, so that they could use them to hold the entire world at the barrel of a gun. They started pushing forward towards Russia's borders, and America started saying, oh, this is not aimed at Russia, this is aimed at Iran. This is aimed at North Korea. But you got it in Europe. You didn't have it placed by them. You had the stuff placed in Europe, in former Soviet territory, which is an affront to Russia itself. Because you think about, what if Mexico said, you know what, I'm tired of America treating us like stepchildren. We want Russian bases here. Remember Lindsey Graham threatened to invade Mexico when Mexico said that they were thinking about backing the peso with silver? You remember that? Go Google it. He said that would force the United States to go in and overthrow the Mexican government. Now, I thought you're supposed to be allies. What if Canada says, hey, we don't want to be the 51st state and we're tired of you threatening us, and so we're going to pull out of our NATO alliance and we're going to align with Russia, and we're going to allow Russia to ring the northern border of the United States. with Russian military bases. Do you think that America would allow that? And I don't care what rational thinking that the Russians present to them and say, hey, this is not against you, America, but this is against the so-called narco terrorists down in Latin America. The same excuse that the United States used to overthrow the Venezuelan government and all of those other governments, right? Do you think that that would be enough for America to say, okay, go and ring our borders with those bases? America would be like, no. If you do this, we are going to take this as a threat to our national security, and we're going to go to war. But she believes that she only has that prerogative, nobody else. That's why they openly state that, hey, you are not allowed to have any spheres of influence, and yet at the same time say that Pax Americana is being revived and we will not allow anyone to set up any bases in the Western Hemisphere, while you have hundreds of bases in the Eastern Hemisphere. The sheer hypocrisy is on a level unheard of. And empires before was braggadocious. They were arrogant and full of hubris. Where are they today? And when you look at those empires, and then you look at today's modern Babylon,
Told you to walk away. That was my first and last mistake. I'm blue without your face. But what can I do? 'Cause I'm just a sinking ship, and you're just a